you're watching Lots of Music.
Hey Jamie, how are you? How you doing?
Great, brother. I'm doing great. I got my Diet Coke. I'm good.
Nice. Jamie, talking about Kalamity Kills, your new band. I wanted to know what led you to form this band, and how did you and Jamie Perrino first connect?
Well, it's actually really cool. Well, Jamie Perrino and I have known each other, since 2007, 2008, somewhere through there. He filled in a show with my former band Guardian, and we played together. And I'll make a really long story short, but we really realized that we had a really good friendship, and plus we had a really good creative thing together. And basically, I had released a solo record in 2019 that Jamie actually also produced for me. And I was getting ready to make another solo record, and I was doing the stuff I was writing was way more hard rock and everything. And when I usually sit down and write a song, I don't sit and think I'm going to write this type of song. I just write what comes out, and I'd fallen in love with rock and roll all over again. And so the stuff I was writing was a little more heavy, a little more anthemic. And I wanted to record a song before I did the Kickstarter campaign, so people could hear what the music was going to sound like, so they know what they're going to get. And originally it was going to be a Jamie Rowe record. And I recorded the song Sinner's Welcome, which is on this Calamity Kills debut. And when I recorded it, I realized, man, this does not sound like a solo artist. This sounds like band. This sounds like band music. And so I decided to call it Kalamity Kills instead of Jamie Rowe. And we made the record. And when we were getting ready to mix, I had realized that Jamie Perrino had done a little bit more than just be the producer of the project. He kind of really had put some input into it. He actually even did some funding out of his own pocket. I don't think he made a penny off the record. I think he put it all back into it, and we just made the best record we could. And I realized, hey man, this seems like a lot more than just me. So why don't we just make this a partnership? And he said, yeah, that sounds cool. I said, let's do a 50-50. So it became a 50-50. And to this day, Calamity Kills is 50-50 with me and Jamie Perrino. We do have 2 new members that play in our live lineup, but the band is myself and Perrino. So basically it kind of evolved naturally, man. There wasn't really one point where I said, hey, let's form a band, let's start this. It just became its own thing. And I'm very happy with it, very.
Yeah, and he also played on a record we do on Guardian, right?
Yes, with Almost Home. He played on the Almost Home record, yes.
Yeah.
And that's where we realized that he and I worked really well together.
Pretty cool. If you could describe the mission or message behind Calamity Kills in one sentence, what would it be?
Yeah, just, man, authentic rock and roll. Really, there's nothing beyond that. People know, I don't hide it. I'm very vocal about my Christian faith, and that's just a part of me, but Calamity Kills is not a Christian band. I don't want to put that in the box, much like if I had a restaurant and if I served great steak and great salads, I wouldn't call it a vegan restaurant, because then you would think there's only something there for vegans.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Calamity Kills. If I call it Christian music, then people are going to think there's only something there for Christians. And I want to speak to everybody. God gave me a gift, and I want to use it to sing to everyone.
Awesome.
But as a Christian, it's just the native tongue that I speak. It's the accent and everything I do. So I don't hide that.
Yeah, I understand pretty well. I think Striper also doesn't want to be a level Christian band or something like that. Yeah, because you want to reach a broader audience, right?
Yeah, and there's nothing like this. If I can take an opportunity to write a song that is really deep and meaningful and has significant spiritual content, I will. But at the same time, if I want to write a mindless, just fun, goofy rock song, I'm going to do that too, man.
Of course, yeah. And how does the songwriting process with Calamity Kills compares to your other bands?
Yeah, well, the first Calamity Kills record, I wrote the entire album myself. And since the album was completed, I've actually I still write myself, but I've actually collaborated with Jamie. And so he and I, we have a new song that's going to be coming out here in the next couple months. and it's called Afraid, by the way, and I really love it. And I think it's one of our best songs yet. And Jamie and I co-wrote that together. Like, he came up with the main riff of the song, and then we built from there. So it really just, it's like I've always got a song in my head, and if you looked at my phone, you would see I've got voice memos that are filled with me going like down the road, but those end up becoming songs. And I've got some really good stuff that's coming up. But I really do like having Parano in the mix on songwriting, because it adds a different flavor, and I like that.
Nice. And the single Starry Skies 1988, I just said suicide prevention. Could you tell me if what personal experiences or inspirations shaped this song?
Yeah, man. I've always suffered from depression in my whole life, like, since I was a teenager, and it's just something that's always been there. And fortunately, I know how to deal with it. But there have been times in my life where I've been really low, at the low point where, it sounds really dramatic, but I've been the guy sitting in his car watching a train pass and think, you know what, if I just stepped in front of that train, all my problems, my bills, my everything would be over. And I'm so thankful that thinking never took hold. And I don't say this boastfully, but I haven't had to be on any depression medication for about 5 years. So I've handled it really great and stuff. That's not saying I don't get tough times and tough thoughts, but I've been making it through, and I'm pretty excited about that. I wish that was the case for everyone, but it's not.
Yeah.
But in the case of Starry Skies, I was on TikTok one night, just scrolling through and looking at all this dumb videos, and I saw somebody had posted about a 12-year-old girl in Indiana who was being bullied in school, and she went home and killed herself.
Wow.
And it just broke my heart that a 12-year-old girl would think that her life is not worth living because some people said some mean things or treated her well. She was just held on, and it really just broke my heart. And I saw pictures of her family and just their faces. I almost felt like I knew this girl, even though I didn't. And so when I went to write this song, I decided to write about it and to talk about it. And I don't know if it's in Venezuela. I'm sure there's something similar, but in the U.S., there's a 988 hotline, and people can call on their phone or they can text, and they can talk to somebody who, one, knows what they're going through, knows how to handle it, and plus it's anonymous. So, because a lot of people going through depressive episodes don't necessarily want to share that with their friends and family. And so I really wanted to shine a light on that. And fortunately, with the song's success and that being in the title, 988, I'm hoping that it's created the awareness that I've hoped it would. And it seems like it is.
Yeah, I can relate, as my sister's suffering from depression, and she is hanging with some people at church. And yeah, they've been very helpful with her. And yeah, and the thing that I think is good is that she's been open about it. Most people are not. Most people keep that inside them. And yeah, but this song is pretty powerful, so I wanted to ask what's been the fan response to this song, or if you have heard any stories that have impacted you.
I've heard from people that like have thanked me for writing the song lyrically, and lyrically I had written the song and brought it to Parano, and he fine-tuned some lyrics and made it better at the end. But it really kind of is my story and my thinking. And if you listen to the song, the first half of it just paints the negativity of the situation, but the last half, you see that hope and that there's a solution. And I like that story because that's really a reflection of real life. But have I heard it's prevented someone from committing suicide? No. Have I been thanked for writing it? Yes. And if I do ever hear that someone decided not to end their life because they heard that song, that's going to be like a major, that's like getting a platinum record or a Grammy award. That's way more powerful and impactful to me than any other benefits. But I'm hoping it does. Like I said, in the U.S. here this week, it's number 33 on Billboard on Active Rock, which for an independent band is just almost unheard of, which is great. And it's the song has been out for 7 months and people are still discovering it. So, and plus we had Aaron from Under Oath on the track. He originally just played drums, and he did a great job, and we asked him if he would consider doing a feature vocal on it. And I think it's because he related to the content, because he's dealt with depression himself. He agreed to, and we have a great song because of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And what has been the biggest challenge in launching the band?
In launching the band, well, for me, because of my history with Guardian, people have a preconceived notion of that I'm going to be an evangelical Christian band, and it's not. It's just a band. I'm a believer, and I'll never hide that, and you can't get around it. But I didn't feel the need to like piggyback off my years of Guardian, and so I've really tried to make it its own thing. And that meant that I turned down some opportunities to play concerts at festivals doing Guardian songs, because I wanted to focus on Kalamity Kills.
Yeah.
And now I'm at a point, now we're 2 years into this, I think we have. So if somebody asks me to do a Guardian acoustic set, I'll consider it now, But Kalamity Kills is where I get my happiness from musically.
Yeah. And how do you view your personal faith today compared to when you first started in music?
Oh, it's definitely evolved. It's definitely changed. Things I thought, as a teenager, as a early 20s, I didn't have a whole lot of life experience, and and a lot of times I was just repeating things that I'd heard, and they weren't really mine, But as I get older, I've really taken the time to examine my faith. There's a thing in the U.S. they call deconstruction. It's a lot of Christians that look at their faith and they just they tear it apart. And some people walk away. I went through a little bit of that, but I never walked away. I looked to find, okay, what do I believe? What is the truth of this? And not just what I've heard or what somebody has assumed that we all believe. Why do I believe this? So my faith is probably stronger than ever. But how I communicate that faith, as opposed to telling people about it, I'm hoping to show them my faith with my life.
Yeah.
And I'm at a point in life where I wake up in the morning, and gratitude is a big thing for me. I think of things I'm grateful for every day, and I thank God for that. And I just want to be a good person. And if people see that, and if I can make someone feel loved, what I mean, that's really good for me. And if they can see that the basis of mine is my faith, then what else would you want?
Yeah, just as that Petra song that says action speaks louder than words.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, we need to be seen and not heard.
Yeah, seen and not heard.
Yeah,
I remember that song.
Exactly. Yeah. What's your perspective on current state of Christian rock?
I really don't know, because I don't really listen to much of it. And that's just one more thing. I think Christian music is great for Christians. I think it's encouraging the Christian people in their faith and whatnot. I think they're missing a great opportunity, because they say, oh, we want to reach the lost and turn them on to the message of Jesus, which is great. But by putting it in that box, you alienate most everybody else. Yeah. And so I would rather just, more artists. Like I said, there are bands that I believe do exist to basically encourage Christian people in their faith. But if they really want to get out and spread beyond the comfort zone, they need to, I'm not competing against Blood Good. I'm not competing against, Disciple for airtime. I'm competing with Falling in Reverse. I'm competing with Nickelback and all these Motionless in White. I want to be there because that's where the people are. And I think as a reflection of Jesus, if I look at the scripture and stuff, Jesus went to the people, and he didn't come in there and say, you better get right with me. He came and showed them love, and that made him attractive to them, and and it'd say, behold, your sins are forgiven, man. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good model for anybody who claims faith, man.
Yeah. Social media and streaming have completely transformed over the years.
Yes.
How artists connect with fans. Do you think it's been a net positive or negative for musicians, for independent musicians like yourself?
There's a few things. I have a few opinions. I think it's been great, but there's been some negative. One, the money has dried up a lot. It's really difficult for an artist to make music in this climate. Like I feel really badly for the young musician who's passionate and wants to make this their career. It's really tough. Because streaming is great. I mean, I love the fact that I have the entire music collection of the world on my phone, but the payment that is trickled down to the artist is so small. It's tragic.
Yeah.
But I love social media, and most people know I'm very active on Facebook and Instagram and stuff. I love talking to people, and it's great immediate feedback when you can connect with the people who actually listen to your music and make it possible for you to keep making music. I love it, but social media is such an ugly place these days too. You know what I mean? I can, for me, I deal with people who, don't like my band because we're not a heavy band, we're not like a death metal band. And then I have other people who are mad that I'm not, regurgitating, Christian lyrics, that I've done for 30 years, that I've moved on from that into a different area. So, but at the end of the day, if I had to choose yes or no, I choose yes, because I actually love social media. I love Spotify in the fact that people can get a free subscription. They can hear my music. You know what I mean? It doesn't cost them anything. And if they were able to listen to my music, if they went and bought a $15 CD, I'd miss out on a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's great for music. It's just hard financially and as a career.
You have had a long career in music.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated and passionate after all these years?
The thing, I can't shut it off. I've always got a song in my head, and I've tried. I went through about a 5-year period where I didn't make any music at all, and life was great, but then I can't shut it off. Even during that time, I was still writing songs that I didn't think anyone would ever hear. I just always write songs, but I don't have any aspirations to be this like major rock star or nothing like that. I just want to make music and create and find the people who it's for, find the fans. Beyond that, anything that happens beyond that is one out of my control, and it would just be icing, because I'm very content right now with my life, and getting to make music still at this point in 2025 is pretty much the greatest reward ever,
Yeah. And what's something about Jamie Rowe that fans might not know? Whether it's a hidden talent, a favorite hobby, or a personal fun.
Oh man, well, I lost 100 pounds, and I did that in the last 6 months. And my weight has always been a struggle, but I had not been in a decent shape since 2000. So I'm right now on a kick of just diet and getting more active. I play basketball now, and again, but that's something you may know about my life. But I mean, I have a very normal life. My favorite thing in the world to do is not to go downtown and hang out in the clubs and whatnot. My favorite thing to do is to lay in bed with my wife and watch Netflix, movies.
Yeah.
And I have a very great life. I've got 4 kids. A lot of people don't know that. I'm a parent. And those are things. But man, I like 80s pop. Like I like Duran Duran and things like that as much as I like, Motley Crue and Rat. So,
that's pretty cool.
And Stryper still has a strong place in my heart.
Yeah, in mine
Absolutely.
too. Yeah, in mine too.
Yeah.
Do you have any unreleased projects or songs from past bands that you have ever, I don't know, maybe considered?
Actually, my impulse was to say no, but I realized I had a band from around 2003 to 2007 called London Calling.
Yeah.
And we released a record, and we really got to do some cool stuff. But there are about 4, maybe 6 tracks that were never released, and I found them recently. And I talked to the guys in that band. I said, "Hey, we should release this stuff." So it's been a time thing because I've been so involved with Kalamity Kills. I haven't had time, but I foresee this year finding those 6 songs, getting them mastered, and put those out for people to hear, because they're really good songs, and they're more power pop, like more Cheap Trick, more in common with like Lit or bands like that. You know what I mean? It was from the early 2000s, so it's very reflective of that time. But they're really good songs, man.
Yeah.
And I hope people get to hear them.
Nice. And going back to Calamity Kills, the band's lineup. includes musicians from the Foxes and collaborations with artists like Adam Gillespie and Ray Lucier. How did these collaborations come about?
A lot of them just become because they're friends. A lot of times, in the case of Ray from Korn, I had knew their manager, and when we were making the record, I remember saying, like, I would love to see if Ray Luzier would play on a track, and I was getting ready to send an email to their management and see if that was possible, and Jamie Perno turns around and says, I used to know Ray. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah. So when Jamie was in Leanne Rimes' band back in the day, Ray was in a band called the Nixons at the time. And I guess their circles, like in the Dallas, Texas area, collided, and he knew Ray. And sure enough, he tracked him down, and Ray was like, yeah, I'm in. So, and he didn't end up playing one song. He played 4 songs on the record. And since then, he's just, and our new song that's about to come out, Ray played on that as well. He's just become a really good friend to the band, and I think he's a great person, and I really, really love him. And the fact that he's in this major band is just like, wow, you know. And he's really, and Ray lives with a life of gratitude too. He's always thankful for everything, and I like people like that.
Yeah.
But a lot of those people you hear on the record, other than, I did not know Chiarelli from Conquer Divide. I just heard her voice and really loved it and reached out to her. But everybody else that performed, I know. They're in our circle of friends, you know.
Yeah.
And Julia from the Foxies is actually, her and Rob are the rhythm section of the Foxies, and they're a really popular alternative rock band here in Nashville. They're actually our live musicians for Calamity Kills too, and they do great. Julia's voice, she's the singer of the Foxies, and she sings with me on a lot of stuff now, and our voices together sounds really good. I'm eager for people to hear that.
Yeah. And any chance that we can see the band on the road anytime soon?
Yes, we are. We've done things really differently than most bands. We've been focusing on the studio, but we have our live stuff. We got our in-ear monitors and everything. We've got all that stuff set up, and we've already played. We did an acoustic show last month at the benefit, but we're ready to set the band up, and that's why we got Rob and Julia. And just, you know, and play the songs live, because it's like there's so much energy in a live show. I cannot wait. I'm actually really happy and stoked that we're going to be doing that. But yes, absolutely. And if we can get to Venezuela, if you have a connection there, that would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah, it would be.
Yes.
Yeah, and you mentioned that there's a song about to come out soon, and what can fans expect about that song without giving too much away?
No, I can give. The song is called "Afraid," and the chorus is "We don't bow to the throne of enemies," and it's basically about standing up and not being afraid. You know, there are people and we encounter this in the band. You know, there's a certain amount of gatekeepers, whether they're in the press or at the record labels, management, radio, whatever, that make the decisions. And sometimes those people get a little like too full of themselves, and they feel too powerful, and they want you to do a certain thing. And we're just like, no, man, we're going to stand up. We're going to be ourselves. We're going to do what we're supposed to do. And it's an anthem for that. So anybody who feels like they're being held down, they're going to love this song, because it's an anthem for them, and it's an encouragement. And for me as a Christian, you know, it's like, it's how I feel a lot of times, because, you know, people don't want to hear, you know, sometimes music from a person of faith and everything like that. And I was like, look, I'm not going to change for you. I am who I am. And I love that. And so I cannot wait. The song is an up-tempo song. Like I said, Ray played drums on it again, so we got the Korn connection there. And Julia sings on some of it with me, and it's really good, man. I can't wait for you to hear it.
Yeah. I'll be waiting for it. Jamie, any plans to another album anytime soon? Have you been working on that? Are those humming songs that you have on your phone related to Kalamity Kills or another project?
They're almost all related to Calamity Kills. Actually, I am recording a solo song with some friends that I know here in Nashville, and as time permits. We've been working on it for a few months, but it was a song I wrote last fall. And you know, it is Christian music for Christians, that song, and I will release that as Jamie Rowe, but I'll put that out probably in the next 6 months, I would say. But I'm constantly got Calamity Kills ideas. I've got 4 songs demoed myself in GarageBand. I need to get down to Parano and we work it out. But I think at this point we're going to start concentrating on singles, because to focus on one song at a time, that way, like, let's put it this way. I think Dark Secrets from the Calamity Kills record is the best song on that record. But a lot of people haven't heard it because it hasn't been a single. So a lot of times, if it's not a single, it doesn't get the attention it deserves. So I think we're going to focus on singles, and maybe after we get a few singles, add some more songs to that and create an album. That seems to be a fairly popular model these days, and that's what we're going to do. But we're definitely going to be making more music in this year, like now.
Yeah, yeah. If you could collaborate with any artist or band, past or present, who would it be and why?
Me growing up as a Kiss fan growing up, they were my Spider-Man and Superman that played music.
Yeah.
I would love, because Paul Stanley never does features on anybody's music. I would love to have Paul Stanley on a track. That would be just me personally. But realistically, I think it'd be great to get Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, who's somebody we casually know, all of us here in Nashville, we all know. It would just find the right track, but I would love to get her and Joe, her guitar player. We've had some encounters with them, and they're just great people. And she's got such a great raspy rock voice. I think she would kill on Calamity Kills.
I love her. Yeah.
I'd love to do Lizzie on that. Yeah.
Yeah, Jamie. To wrap this up, if this was your last interview, God forbid,
it might be. You never know.
What's the one message you would want to leave to your fans?
Man, okay, two from Calamity Kills. Thank you for giving us a shot. There's a lot of music out there, and they say 400,000 songs a day get released on Spotify. The fact that you took time to listen to one of our songs, thank you. I can't thank you enough for that. The music will live on longer than I do. Me personally, as a Christian, as a musician, as a husband, father, all the above, I would like people to know that I'm just a flawed human being. I have the same problems as everybody else. I deal with them mostly the same as everybody else. I do have hope in something that's a lot larger than me, and I fully believe that God loves his kids. Yeah. And the thing is, when I meet people, whether their background or anything, I'm one of those believers that believes in where the Bible says that man was created in God's image. I've never met a person who was not created in the image of God. And to me, they're valuable, no matter where they're at in their life. And I'm going to treat them as my brother and sister. And I hope people, when they listen to our music or watch this interview or interact with me on social, they know that deep down, I genuinely do care about people. And that thrills me to death to be a part of people's lives.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, and thank you very much for your time. And
thank you for rocking that Calamity Kills background. I love that.
Yeah. As soon as I have the interview ready, I will send it to you so you could also share on your social media.
I'll chop up some clips and put it on socials if you don't mind.
Awesome, no problem. Well, Jamie, thank you very much, and talk to you soon. Hope to see you in the road.
Pleasure. Hope everything goes well at home, family issues and everything like that taken care of. I really hope, man. People say it's overused. You know how they always say, "This too shall pass." Have you heard that phrase? Is that?
Yeah.
It really is true, man. I was at a point 10 years ago. I was going through a divorce. I really thought my life was over. And in a lot of ways, my life had just began, and it's better than ever. So these storms and stuff like that, man, it's just, all life is valleys and mountaintops.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm on the mountaintop. Chances are there'll be a time I'll be back in a valley soon, but it never lasts. It always goes up and down. So hang in there is what I'm trying to tell you, brother.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that.
Got it.
And talk to you soon,
my friend. Holla, get me to Venezuela.
Yeah. Let's see what we can do there. Yeah.
Right,
it would be awesome to have you here.
I love it.
Okay.
Take care, my friend. Holla.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Emotional imprisonment.
my soul.